Hi, my name is Suzie Templeton.
The essence of animation is movement, and you chose like a completely different perspective. You switched the perspective. You decided to focus on the stillness.
I love to find animated expression within stillness, to find the language of the body, and that is, for me, that is expressed in the strongest way when it's not moving, when it's still, and that's what we're exploring in this workshop as well. Everyone's seeing how much acting and expression they can get from their puppets without moving them. The task is to start with one emotion and change to another emotion with a communication in between two characters. There are two characters on each set, two animators. And so each character will change after this communication. But I want them to express all of this in the subtlest way possible.
Would you say that puppet animation can be a medium for very subtle human emotions?
Yeah, I think so. For me, it's the perfect medium for that. It's even more perfect, I think, than live action, for really finding an essence of something within a character, an essence of an emotion or of a feeling or of a personality trait.
Your films, of course, award-winning Peter and Wolf, but also The Dog, they are filled with certain spirit of maybe sadness, some kind of sadness, which is somehow captured between the frames. It's nothing that we could actually point the finger. So.
Well, I guess that's what interests me. I like to explore these darker emotions, but it's built into the characters. It's built into every part of their expression, the design of their faces, their eyes, their mouths, everything. And then, so the puppet itself is actually very sad, and then I can express the sadness through the body language as well. But I like to be able to express other emotions as well, not just sadness. But I understand what you mean, that there's an underlying sadness.
May I ask you also about masters that inspired your work? Is it somehow rooted in Eastern European animation?
Yeah, absolutely. The master who I love his work so much. I always turn to him, Mr. Revich, and maybe I said that wrong. Starovic. Okay. And of course Frank Meyer. He's like a huge inspiration to me, yeah. Yeah, as soon as I arrived in Semaphore, I felt at home. I felt that people were as obsessed as I was with animation and with stop motion and with making things. So the passion that I felt was it was perfect. I knew, as soon as I walked into Semaphore, I knew these are the people I wanted to work with. And working with them was really inspiring. They're so passionate and so talented. And they really threw themselves into this project. You know, they were staying nights and making sure it was as good as it could be. And I think it really shows on the screen, that passion. I was pretty much left to do exactly what I wanted for the whole experience, which was great. It was amazing. There was a little tiny bit of influence from Channel 4, about a couple of shots. Channel 4 put in a lot of the money towards the film, but there was no pressure at all from Semaphore. I could see how special it was from the work that was being produced. I could see, as soon as the puppets started to be finished, I could see how special they were. They're so beautiful. They're the most exquisite puppets I've ever seen, and I remember just holding them in my hands, and I was just thinking, this is absolutely beautiful, and this is going to be a really special film. We planned the whole film as an animatic in Maya first, so we could plan out all of the movements with the music beforehand. So the whole film was edited beforehand, before we started shooting in Maya. The Animateka was edited in Maya. It was made in Maya and then edited. So we knew exactly what we were going to do, but still, of course, an animatic is always going to be different from an animated shot, and however carefully I might have planned that movement has to be on that frame to match the music, when it's animated, of course, it doesn't work like that, because it can't just click into another position, it has to animate. So there was a lot of editing afterwards that I did within the shots. So I re-edited shots. Once they'd been filmed, I reworked them. I took out frames, I swapped frames around, and sometimes there were 50 cuts within a shot to make them work exactly how I wanted them to work with the music, which I think stop motion is pretty unique in allowing that, because other mediums would not allow such brutality in the editing. For me, stop motion is capable of a mystery and a magic all of its own. And as an animator, as a stop motion filmmaker, I try to let that blossom, to try and let that grow, that magic, to let it be, because stop motion has such a power that it brings all of its own. Sometimes you just need to let that happen. And I know on big productions that's really difficult, because there's so much pressure, there's so much industrialization that's necessary to get this thing done on time. You know, you have different copies of different puppets and all of these different techniques that have been developed to allow such a large-scale production. But it's very dangerous I see a lot of losses, there are a lot of compromises that happen because of that, and a lot of that is with the magic, the special magic of stop motion.
Is it your first time here in Ljubljana on Animateka, and how do you find the festival?
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I love being around people who are also passionate about animation.